A new WWE signing didn't seriously consider an AEW offer. We've got an update on WWE creating more championships, and a WWE champion has called for the return of a major event. Stay tuned for all the deets. Now, there's been a little bit of controversy surrounding Stephanie Vaquer recently. Obviously, there was a lot of speculation she was potentially going to land in AEW. She was currently working with CMLL as a champion. She was working with New Japan as a champion. And then all of a sudden, there's an announcement that she is stepping away from both companies, vacating said titles, and that she'd signed with WWE. Shawn Michaels doing the big welcome tweet, one of the hottest free agents in all of wrestling. But it was confirmed via WWE social media and everything, so it's all like kind of official in stone now. But according to reports from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, despite having offers from both WWE and AEW, she didn't seriously consider the offer from AEW, as she's had dreams of joining WWE since she was a child. Alongside this, it was also reported that WWE made what is described as a tremendous offer to counter AEW's.
You can imagine AEW would have thrown a lot of money at her. She was someone who came in for Forbidden Door, had made
amount of hype.
Massive amount of hype, made an immediate impact, and maybe stole the show that night in terms of like surprising people that maybe weren't aware of her before then, and really gave her that platform in that match with Mercedes Moné. And now look at the reward she's reaped from that. She has signed a big money contract regardless of which company it was going to be. WWE offering tremendous money. You can't, we don't know a number on that, but
no, but tremendous dictates that they kind of they saw what AEW were offering and they were like, no, we have to have Stephanie Vaquer, so whatever it takes, right?
And it's just a shame that because as the report is saying, she didn't seriously consider the offer from AEW. It looks like this has been a long dream for her to sign with WWE. Yeah. She was at a tryout back in 2018. WWE didn't sign her there, so it looks like this has been her long-term goal. It's not a case of that she didn't value AEW. It's that
it's something she's always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I think that, if it's a dream like that and the opportunity comes along, you have to take it, right? You got to rip both hands off. And when you're the biggest star going, and the company's desperately wanting to sign you, it's got to feel nice.
When you're the belle of the ball, you've got to,
But not only has she signed, not only was that all confirmed and everything, but she's set to make her debut at tonight's WWE live event in Mexico. It was confirmed by WWE on social media, who are going to be obviously using her appearance to target the local market, who maybe is more aware of her and her work. But I think this is, the WWE's been looking to expand into, Mexico and South and Central American markets. And I think that it makes sense, you may as well create as much hype as you can. Very big shot kind of debut. People are going to be interested in maybe doing some walk-up ticket sales, and that's it.
I imagine we will get a filmed piece that was posted on social media. Obviously, a live event, it's not filmed, but I imagine we'll see
They do often have cameras. Like, you'll notice sometimes when you go to, like, a house show somewhere like Newcastle, there's a camera, and it's like, they are filming bits. You see stuff turn up in packages, or they do a little recap of the tour on socials. But I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw the entire match.
Well, that's the thing. Will she have a match, do you think? Because right now they have announced that she'll be there.
Yeah.
Could it just be a case they wheel her out to the ring, she gives a little promo?
They've done that before.
Yeah. We had a very similar instance with Dragon Lee, actually, in CMLL, and they had the announcement that he was going to WWE. But they've done it before for other things. We saw, I think it was Shinsuke Nakamura in Japan.
Yeah.
They had him appear in the ring. We had Asuka in Japan.
Yeah.
It's similar. They might do the same here. If she wrestles, fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
An immediate splash. And immediately, she's on the main roster, but she's going to NXT, but they treat her as a big deal.
And as we were saying before in the earlier video, WWE seems like more of a nice landing spot these days for people that maybe want to work elsewhere. They've obviously been working with TNA recently. There's all the rumblings about them and Noah. And on the point of them and Noah, it's been announced by Noah that NXT star Josh Briggs and Tavon Heights are going to be appearing in the Noah N1 tournament. Because the crossover is also going to see another crossover, Briggs is going to be in the same block as New Japan talent Ryohei Oiwa. So we're going to see New Japan versus WWE in a Noah ring, which is going to be interesting. We had Gedo come out just before in Noah as well. Like, there's a lot of strange things going on.
Noah's like the forbidden door right now. I believe today we're seeing AJ Styles there versus Marufuji, and we've got like Josh Briggs going there. He's a great fit for the N1 tournament. Big guy, big moveset. This could be like a star-making performance for him. Same with Tavion Heights. Great big guy. Has got a really hasn't had that big spotlight in NXT yet, but this could be the thing that gets him over that line just to give him that star.
Yeah, I think it's just, I'm excited to see how much further this is going to go, especially with names like AJ turning up there. It's, there's a lot of potential.
It's bubbling, right?
There was always talk of like, they're just going to buy Noah and turn it into NXT Japan. I think we're past that now.
Yeah.
But I think it makes more sense to have this sort of collective of companies that they're going to work with, because you can do this exciting stuff, right? You can move talent around and maybe showcase talent in a way that they wouldn't get showcased on the standard program.
Absolutely. I can't wait for the Worlds Collide event, which has everything. So we've got in one, I'm at, like, Forbidden Door is fantastic. We get a Worlds Collide that will be fantastic. We're eating. We're eating good right now.
We're eating very good right now. But just going back to WWE here, according to a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which has been backed up and supported by PWN's report, WWE is in serious discussions to create secondary women's championships for the main roster, and it's looking probable that they're going to be confirmed soon. The rumor currently is that there's going to be a women's United States and a women's Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. I think, as the women's roster grows, it's been, I think for a long time, the depth was always the issue. It felt for a while that you couldn't reduce those belts, but it wasn't really, the roster wasn't really deep enough in order to sustain those belts. And there was a big worry with just even when you looked at the tag division for the longest time. So I think now that we have the women's roster filling out a lot more, it makes a lot more sense.
We're in a fantastic point for that one. I think they definitely deserve it. Chelsea Green herself was saying, I really hope it happens. I've been reading the rumors. I really hope it happens. So I can't wait to see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, that I still can't. Just that ladder through the tables, and then the ladder bounces back perfectly onto its feet. Just everything about that spot was terrifying.
That match, on that match, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Man. It was in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that it was voted by the audience of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that it was both the best match and the worst match of the night. It had the same balance, the same amount of people voted it as the worst.
It was really split the difference
because it was a train wreck, but incredible, incredible match.
To be said for a good train wreck, though. But now, looking back to the old days when wrestlers were wrestlers, and you'd go backstage and they'd be playing dominoes, and everybody'd have a bottle of Jack, and everybody'd be having a good time and smoking some cigars, and everybody's packing heat. WWE is going to be coming to Call of Duty, so Undertaker now can go and bond with those new wrestlers who only play video games, and they don't do dominoes or cigars or hang out with the acolytes. But Undertaker can now potentially play himself. Maybe
he could play himself.
We don't know what's going to be happening, because starting July 24th, WWE is crossing over into the world of Call of Duty for its upcoming Season 5. COD have posted a teaser on social media of a wrestling ring, but they've not actually revealed in what form the crossover is going to take. Traditionally, though, this tends to mean that it's skins that people can buy. So again, hopefully, Undertaker can play as himself if they announce, say, Undertaker, and he could go in there and be like, right, this is what video games are all about. Guns.
Now, if it's like their previous,
he's going to go, I love games.
This is great. This is gaming. If it's like previous crossovers, I think it was Rainbow Six Siege. We saw Becky Lynch. I think we saw the Undertaker. I just imagine.
Fortnite. There's been quite a few WWE crossovers into the world.
We had John Cena in Fortnite. Just imagine though, you're playing Nuketown or Rush, Rust, and then you just see the Undertaker running about. That is absolutely just insane.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's not what I was expecting, but it's still going to be exciting.
I'm not someone who ever buys a battle pass or buys skins for Call of Duty, but I'm really intrigued by this one just because of the absurdity that you could be running around a Call of Duty map as Triple H or Undertaker
just
or
doing ridiculous emotes.
Yeah, it would DX. That's what we want.
Instead of teabagging like the old Halo days, it's all just crotch chopping.
Yeah, Logan Paul for sure will be there, right?
Yeah, surely. If he's not already been in it, surely he's been in every game already ever. But we're moving back over to the AEW side of the fence for some news that people maybe aren't that surprised by here. But it appears as if Ric Flair and AEW are now dunsies. This has been reported by Fightful, later confirmed by the Wrestling Observer. But per Fightful, Flair hasn't been seen at any AEW events since Revolution, and it's not factored into any creative plans in the future, with him not being brought up in conversation at all for some time. Observer obviously reporting that the deal with Woo Energy and AEW seems to have ceased too, with it not appearing on programming. Now, previously, Tony Khan had noted that Flair was there to kind of promote his energy drink, but the people bankrolling Woo Energy were sort of paying for Flair's appearances, because every time he'd appear, he'd have the can or whatever, and he'd be promoting the drink. So he was more like an advertiser. He was like a billboard, right?
He was a walking billboard for the energy drink that AEW WWE was getting paid to put on the program.
But at the same time, I think it turned a lot of heads when he did show up in AEW after, there was quite a lot of controversy surrounding Ric Flair at the time and whether AEW would ever work with somebody like that.
Yeah.
And then he turned up. So I think now maybe they might be happy to kind of just have that kind of break.
He retired along with Sting. That's what happened.
And we're going to wrap things up now with a report here. Bayley calling for the return of the WWE pay-per-view, the women's only pay-per-view, Evolution, but this time involving women from outside the company, from companies like TNA. And now she was speaking with Cody Rhodes on what do you want to talk about? And she said, why not? We're just saying there's so many women. The thing about the first one was we had so many girls from NXT, which they got to showcase on a bigger stage, but they had so many women from the past. It's kind of like the first few Rumbles. They had a lot of women from the past because we didn't have enough women to fill up these matches, but now we do. I think it would be so cool to give everybody on Raw and SmackDown a part of that show, Evolution 2. You could bring in girls from NXT. We just saw Jordan Grace on NXT, TNA girls, whatever the connection is there. We can bring different girls and you can bring someone in from the past if they're up to do a little something. But we have such a stacked roster right now where it's like we can hold down a show on our own, another PLE on our own. It's been so many years. It's not like something to do we do every year where we're like, all right, we've seen it enough times. I think it's time because it's a different era compared to back then. And I agree, it's only been like 5 years.
It's been, so 2018 was when they had the first ever Evolution, which is, that is six years ago now, which is insane. And it's like you were saying about the titles and bringing in that secondary title for the women division.
The depth's there now.
The depth is incredible. They've got such a big roster of women that they need to showcase more. Now we are getting better, and WWE is getting better at hosting or having rivalries not involving the titles, but having those secondary titles would just mean more exposure for them.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we need.
Not all the belts need to be on every pay-per-view, which is another thing that needs to kind of... I know that it's important to have championship matches, but that was a factor of the 90s where sometimes there just wouldn't be a mid-card title on the show. Maybe they'd get a pre-show match. Maybe it would be more of a TV feud, but it allowed a lot of people to be elevated in a way where, hey, just because there's only, say, 8 slots on the night doesn't mean that this isn't important. Yeah. And this is when we maybe start to see these take over the weekly storylines in between, your regular Solo Sikoa beatdowns and everything else. So I'm full agreement, to be honest. I think, especially if you do something like a bit of an open invitational where maybe we see names popping up in a surprise manner where it's like, who's going to come out next? Which company are they from? Or we could have, a lot of back and forth between any other companies WWE would be willing to kind of partner with. I think it'd be nice to bring in and represent some independent talent as well, like outside of kind of the pro leagues, I guess, of wrestling. We've heard that WWE maybe kind of not, they're kind of friendly with GCW.
We've seen we've got Shayna Baszler going to Bloodsport. So
I think it'd be interesting to maybe see if we could represent all ends of women's wrestling here if we were
on Evolution. I think it's definitely overdue, well overdue. It feels like, as we mentioned, Forbidden Door, Worlds Collide, Evolution, that could be a whole third event in itself that allows that crossover between those companies. Bayley versus Jordan Grace. Give us that match.
Just took it up to my veins.
Give us it right now, please. Thank you.
That is it for your second dose of lovely bumper weekend wrestling news. We may be back later on if anything else breaks, but keep it with us. We've got all the standard content coming out over the weekend, but we've got a very exciting new type of video we've never really done before, don't we, Fraser?
We do indeed. WWE The Game. Yes, that is what we've got coming out tomorrow. It's myself and Pierce Graffin, one of our fantastic video editors here at Cultaholic, taking on the team of Jack the Jobber and Owen Mawson. We filmed this over Clash at the Castle weekend in Glasgow, and we were assigned or given many random challenges by the Games Master Adam Pacitti, and we have to complete them before the end of the challenge period. And of course, the losing team will have to face a punishment. That is coming tomorrow on the channel. Do not miss it. Hit subscribe, hit that bell to get notified, and make sure you watch it. But if you want to watch it right now, go to patreon.com/Cultaholic. It is on early access right now for all Patreon subscribers. I can't wait. I can't wait for people to see it. I've been so excited.
I'm really looking forward to the response because, again, it's not like anything we've done before, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you all in a bit.